sometimes people come in with, I have a product or service, they just want to sell it, but they don't understand marketing and understand how it works. And then when they understand how a business works from a marketing perspective, I think that they're a stronger entrepreneur versus just handing it over. I think a lot of entrepreneurs just want to hand that over. Oh, I don't want to deal with marketing. Here, whoever you are, like, here's the baton. And guess what happens, right? No one's going to take care of your baby like you.
Welcome to CustomerBloom's Growing Business Faster podcast, where we talk about all things related to growing and scaling your business in today's hyper-connected world. Gain insightful tips from experts about the tactics and tools that will make your business stronger. Now get prepared to accelerate your success with your host, Matt Coffey.
So we've got Heather Havenwood on today on the podcast. Heather, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, so this is kind of cool. I had a lot of people telling me I should podcast with you because they said you are very unique in that you have a different slice of the market. You do some email marketing, you do some coaching, you have a dating site. Talk to me first about the dating site, because I'm fascinated with these people who built these dating sites, because I was upset I didn't do it first.
I understand that dating is a very different market. So let me explain to you how I even got to that place. Okay. So, I started in business online and in what I call the direct response marketing business back in 2001, doing real estate, teaching people how to buy and sell real estate. I was in Florida. You're in Jersey, I see. So, we were getting all people coming from New York to buying property and real estate and stuff like flipping it and that kind of thing. Right. So I spent almost 7 or 8 years doing that. In that time frame, I traveled the country and I was learning what I call direct response marketing, where you get in front of a room of strangers and you talk to them and communicate them for 90 minutes. And then you have them give you $3,000, right? It's like, how do you do that? So I learned this whole process of direct response marketing. And then this thing happened called blow up time of 2005 and 6 and 7. I'm sure you remember that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah. And during that time, I lost everything. And I also had a business.
Really?
Yeah. Shocker, right? I did. I lost everything, bankruptcy, foreclosure, everything went gone, everything overnight. And I ended up living in my car with me and my dog and my cell phone. That was my only bill. And I just kind of had this hard look on me and life and like, I don't know what to do here. I thought I was on this gravy train that just completely went off a cliff. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know what to do. And I had all this skill set. So it took me a couple of years. I'm kind of sharing the story in a condensed version. It definitely took me a couple of years to kind of get out of the mindset of poor me into, okay, I'm ready to kick ass again kind of thing, or kick butt, excuse me. And what happened is I had a friend of mine who said to me, hey, you should get big in the online world. And I said, well, I don't know, because one, I don't want to teach people online marketing when I'm broke. That would just sound weird. Like, you can make money online. I'm broke, but you can, And then I didn't want to teach real estate for obvious reasons. Real estate was gone. Mm-hmm. So they said, well, why don't you go into the dating business where you're teaching men how to talk to women? No one can ever question you on that. And it was true, right? I was a female and I was dating men, and there were usually older men who were divorced. And I thought, oh, well, that's true. So I started datingtriggers.com, and I took all the stuff I knew about marketing, direct response marketing, email marketing, conversion, opt-ins, all that stuff, copywriting, branding, and put it into my business on datingtriggers.com and only date younger women. And I did have some help. Perry Belcher and Ryan Dice did publish me at the beginning. And so Perry Belcher was my first, he did my first sales letter.
Right.
That name.
Sure.
And also he helped me out completely and got me kind of launched. And then I took the business and ran from there.
Right.
So that was in 2008 or 9. Right. So that business is still live today. Now, from that process, though, now I have a coaching business, HeatherHavenwood.com. I have a supplement business, E2Lab.com. I have a local business. So it kind of goes on from there. When you learn how to make money online, like, the world opens up. You know what I mean? So you can just go, oh, I can go down this niche. Oh, I can go down this niche. So it started to open up different worlds, and then that's why I have the dating business today. So that's datingtriggers.com and justdateyoungerwomen.com.
So that business to me is a catalyst, or maybe it's a jumping point for a lot of other things, because then you start to, are people paying recurring revenue on that?
No, they aren't. So no, they're not. I mean, the only dating for recurring, I think, that really works is what I call a true match.com. You know what I mean? Because getting someone to do a recurrent on a dating product, a relationship product is, I wouldn't say an easy thing. Some people do it, but the models, they 4 or 5 months and they fall off.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I wouldn't say that's a full model. But the dating business is interesting because I think when someone's in that space of what I call the dating niche, they're in some kind of pain is what I call it. You know, they're in like they just had a divorce, or for my guys, like they divorce and they want to get back in the dating world, but they're like, I don't know how to do this. I've been married for 20 years and I got kids. Like, how does this work? You know, so they have a lot of questions, and then that's where I come in. But the dating industry is very different. You've probably heard a lot of guys over the years have been pagan, doing really well in the niche. It's broad niche too. The one thing I liked about it when I got into it is it was international. And that was a key thing for me because I just got burned by the United States government. You know what I mean? And so I kind of had this like, I want something that's not connected to the oil prices, you know, or the mortgage prices. I want something that's so unconnected to that. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I didn't want anything connected to the government. So dating is an international conversation. I have clients from all over the world.
Yeah, I do like the fact that you're varied in your experiences. And so have you done speaking engagements?
Yes.
Recently? And it seems like maybe Success Magnet Seminar was one of the places where you know, you started getting getting established.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Yeah, Success Magnet Seminar, that was fascinating. I hadn't been in the speaking business for many years. Like I said, I kind of went in a hole. And that was my coming out party. Me and Joe Sugarman hosted that event. It was fun. Man, it was awesome. And the lineup was just ridiculous. John Benson, Joe Polish, John Carlton, Joe Sugarman. I'm going to blank on somebody. Myself. I'm blanking on somebody. There's 2 other people I'm blanking on. And you know what's interesting about that, Matt, is when we put it out there, people thought it was a lie because the lineup was so awesome. They didn't believe it. And so what happened is the turnout was pretty small. It actually wasn't great. It was like maybe 100, 150 people. And well, who was in the room was even better. Like, it's amazing copywriters. Like, copywriters for themselves were all like Harlan, this guy named Matt. These guys are like really awesome copywriters and business owners themselves, you know, in the room, much less on the stage. And it became this small little mastermind the whole weekend. It didn't become this big seminar, what we thought it would be. And so it's really fascinating. So now you can get the CDs CDs, that's old school. You can get the videos on successmagnetseminar.com. You can buy them. But what was fascinating is people literally would call me a week afterwards. They go, oh my God, we didn't think it was real. It was real. All those people were hung out in a room all weekend. I'm like, they didn't. You missed it. So it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. But what I learned from that, not that I already know this, but kind of reiterated that, is that copywriting is the key. You know, that the what I call the power of the pen, nowadays, the power of the Macintosh keyboard, I guess, is the key to entrepreneurship. When you understand the power of selling with your pen or selling with the concept of how to get the message to market to a product and service, you can create anything. And that was reiterated there.
So interesting. So how did you and Joe Sugarman,
He's a dear friend of mine. We've done business together for a long time. I've known him, I don't even know, 2005, 2006. He was the forward of my book.
Right.
I talk to him all the time. Yeah, he's a dear friend. He's now my mentor. I call him a friend and a mentor. I mean, he's mentored me so much through my troubles when I was building myself back up, and still am. You know, it's how I see it. He's just a great guy. He's amazing.
Yeah. So it's interesting that, you know, you get a guy like Joe, and then you've got Carlton and you know, Joe Polish, and I mean, you're gonna start to see some of the larger frameworks that are out there as well in the copy world. You know, those are the big dogs that, you know, they play in a whole different space than most. They do.
I think that's why people didn't show up, because they really thought, oh, please, that's not real. You know? I'm like, it was real. It's no longer going to happen ever again.
Right, exactly. Those guys have got pretty high standards.
Yeah, it was pretty high standards. Yeah, so I'd like to redo the Success Night seminar again with the same concept. Obviously, I'm not going to have those people back, maybe one or two of them, but having all those guys in one room. And what was really cool about that weekend is because it was kind of a small event and the people in the room were so awesome. A lot of the guys decided to hang out. Sometimes they did like speak and they leave, and they didn't. They all just oh, this is cool. I'm just gonna hang out. To my plane leaves or whatever. So they all just hung out in the back of the room, chilling, talking to people. It was just so open. Everyone was it was like a big just hang out mastermind. It was awesome.
So you're fairly well known for also some coaching. Can you tell us a little bit about the coaching strategy that you work with? So for instance, let's say I'm a small business.
Yeah.
Are you coming in to help them with the email marketing piece? Are you coming in to help them with the marketing in general? What's your main diagnosis, and what's a typical customer look like, and what would you provide them? I know that's a long question.
It's okay. No, that's a great question because there's a lot of coaches out there, and I get it. What I work with them a lot is what I call teaching them and educating them and coaching them on how to be from a mindset and a vision of how to be an entrepreneur. I know that sounds really weird, but sometimes people come in with, I have a product or service, they just want to sell it, but they don't understand marketing and understand how it works. And then when they understand how a business works from a marketing perspective, I think that they're a stronger entrepreneur versus just handing it over. I think a lot of entrepreneurs just want to hand that over. Oh, I don't want to deal with marketing. Here, whoever you are, here's the baton. And guess what happens, right? No one's going to take care of your baby like you. So you have to understand how marketing works on all levels. Even if you're handing over the baton of the build out, right? The build out of the site or build out whatever, you can't hand over the strategy. You have to work with them. You can't just let all that go. You have to be able to understand it and be the one who's the visionary of that. So I work with them all that. I also tend to work with a lot of them on the email marketing side, and they always want to hand that over. And I'm like, no, you're not allowed to for 90 days until you get to this point with me where I feel you can get it, then you can hand it over. Because once they understand it, then they can hand it over. So then they can, what I call, watch the other person, what I call train them, versus feel like they just handed over their entire list. Because the list, no matter if it's a customer list or opt-in list or a lead list, is the business. Doesn't matter if you're selling widgets or you're an agency or if you're selling, dentistry, the list is the business, and you just can't hand that baby over. It is the baby. And so I work with them a lot on how to communicate, how to talk to, how to email, how to do that process. Text messaging is a big one right now. How do they use that information, that what I call that medium, and so that they can make more money with their current customer list?
Interesting. I get the fact of, this whole business of trying to put together the right pieces for businesses. We're going through a lot of changes in how we deliver stuff with the agency business that we do today, because we've sort of migrated from wholesale and we're doing more retail now. We still do wholesale, but so in the retail space, there's a lot of openness to provide a great service and a great value to the end user. And the challenge is, what do you do? What do you provide from a marketing perspective? And have you standardized on any platforms that maybe you could give a hint to our audience on what you like and what you've found to be successful on a specific platform level?
Like a software platform?
Yeah.
Is that what you're? Yeah. Okay. Well, a couple things. I'm going to talk to you about text messaging right now. Now, if you're a small local business or a local business or a big local business, what I mean by that, if you're advertising on radio, TV, or doing native ads, may I suggest that you say in your advertisement, either verbally or TV or whatever, you can text or call our text. I say call our text this number. Let me explain to you why. What I've learning in my business, we have a local weight loss company here in Austin, Texas, and we started saying from the beginning, hey, you can text this number. Oh my God. People love to text because they want to text versus call, because it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. People have this, like, I don't want to talk to anybody, but they will text you back and forth all day to schedule stuff, to have a conversation, ask questions. They'll text our assistant all day long. It's crazy. And they love it. You know what I mean? Versus pick up the phone and having one conversation. They just love the text messaging. Plus we're increasing our leads. And what's interesting, I was in a mastermind this weekend. I talked to a guy that he works at this huge law firm that spends millions of dollars a year on advertising. And we had this conversation. He goes, that's funny you say that, because we had this law firm who's been out there for years talking about, calls today, 1-800, whatever. He said they didn't have that number text enabled. And so we text enabled it. And all of a sudden we were getting all these leads. And we didn't even tell people that it was text available. Then we changed our message that you can text or call. And it was like this floodgate. So it was like a 400% increase. Right. So people assume that your phone number for your business as text messaging is available. So that's a big one. Right. On podcasting, like right now, I use text message, and I tell you, if you want to, know more about me, you can text the word sexy, SEXY, to 72,000. And when you text that, I'm going to get your information. And then I also get your email address, stuff like that. And then I can now communicate to you. Text is a huge one. That's a big one. And I use the company called Mobit.com. There's other ones out there. Sure. That's a big one. But as far as like software and what I call a personal entertainment channel. And I think email is not dead. It is still very viable, and a local business should be emailing their client list at least once a week. Now, on my dating list, I do sometimes 1 to 3 times a day, but that's different. So you have to look at the particular kind of market, but minimum once a week. If you're in what I call a normal internet marketing funnel, once a day minimum. Got
it. So any platforms you specifically like? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah.
Just finding out what people run their platform on.
For text messaging, Mobit.com. For email, I have my own server on one, so that's different world, as well as Aweber. Mm-hmm. I definitely still use Aweber a lot because it's a closed system, right. And Infusionsoft for some tagging and like all that kinds of segmentation piece.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we've been experimenting with radio ads to a text landing page.
Yeah? Is it working?
Yeah, it's just different. And I think that we're trying to embrace bringing in new strategies when we talk to clients, but the same conversation starts happening every 5 seconds, which in most of our businesses that we work with, which is, I just want phone calls and traffic. I just want phone calls and traffic. So, we have to do the pay-per-click and SEO and social media marketing. It's just, the email marketing has been a bane for us, just because we have not, it's a full-time job, meaning that it's not easy. And that's why I was asking you, we use ActiveCampaign, and we've used Infusionsoft before, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we run a lot of campaigns for our customers, but boy, it is one of those things where it involves copywriting, landing pages, conversional strategies, A/B testing. And it just goes on and on and on forever.
It does.
And we're really chomping at the bit to try and find a solve to find the better mousetrap there. But let's go back to your story, and again, I don't want to burn all of our days on platforms and burn all our time on platforms.
Oh no, that's fine.
So you got the book Sexy Boss, it's up and running. It seems like that was something that was really helpful. Ryan Dice, obviously, was part of this, I would think. That she and how did you get in touch with Ryan, and how? And obviously, he's been involved with you to some degree.
So Ryan Dice wasn't part of Sexy Boss. That's okay. And I've been around a while, I guess. I'm old.
Right.
I've been, in the online internet marketing world, going back to big seminars since 2003. I knew Ryan Dice when Ryan was like just a geeky guy. You know what I mean? I think when you're going to these seminars in 2003 and 2004, like Mike Phil saying, "Hey, Mike," I've just known everybody just because you were around during the time when they were just like normal dudes, Mm-hmm. Perry Belcher, same way. And I live in Austin, Texas, and they're also down the street from me. So it's kind of like you run into people at events. So,
mm-hmm.
I think it's just I've been around a while. I'm old, I guess. That's how I know them. They actually were the ones that came up to me and wanted to publish me with the dating business.
Okay, I got you. So it was
onlydateyoungerwomen.com.
Right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So and then Perry did my my copy with that, and we worked with him. And actually, the product itself, the original product, is actually me and Perry Belcher, which is so funny. It's actually really, really a funny product. It's him and I talking. It's really funny. But a lot of people don't know that either because I don't talk about it unless you get the product and you know who Perry is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so that's how that happened. And then they gave me over the company because they went into a different direction and they were adding new products and changing management, and they stopped doing that model, publishing others. So moved from there. They're still friends. And so Sexy Boss actually came out from Joe Sugarman. Joe Sugarman's the one who said, "You're like a sexy boss. You should write a book." So here we go. We wrote a book, and he was the forward to that book. And that was my story. It was me coming out about my story, because I think with online marketing, we assume everyone's successful and they're all hanging out together and they're all successful in everything. And it's all not true. So I went through a massive personal, financial, whatever, bankruptcy, everything, downfall. And it was my story of sharing that, what happened and how I overcame that and how I've moved away from what I call from bankruptcy to sexy boss, like what I call a transformation, very personal development.
Has that provided you with a stage, do you think?
Yeah, I did. It provided me with branding. You know, people call me Cheap Sexy Boss, which is a great brand, and I love it. But at the same time, it created a platform for me to be out there and start speaking about not only my story and being an entrepreneur, but marketing. And I hadn't really done that. I've been behind the scenes for many, many years. And so it's been my platform to come out and say, okay, I'm ready to coach people now and teach you marketing, because I have now started a business from scratch, from nothing, and built it so I had this great lifestyle. And now I could teach you from a place of, yeah, I make money online and I teach you, versus I only make money when you give me money to teach you, which I hate that. Okay, so it's like I want to go, oh, I have these other businesses, and it's a Ryan Dias model. He's got a bunch of other businesses and he teaches you. You know what I mean? And I liked that model, and I was like, I want to show people, look, I have these other businesses that I succeed and fail in every day, and I teach you. You know, so that's how that came to be.
Okay, so 2 Austin questions, then one other question, then we're going to wrap it up because we're on our 30-minute mark already, believe it or not. So, Austin, love it?
Love it!
I want to ask you if you know a couple people in Austin.
Okay.
So, one of my favorite guys in the marketing world who owns AppSumo.
Yeah.
So, you know Noah, I would think.
Yeah, I've known. I mean, cross paths, not dear friend.
Yeah,
cross paths.
He's a great guy, and I wanted. He actually sent me a Fitbit. We had a couple.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, he and I and Ramit Sethi met in New York at one of these meetings, and we hung out. He's like, "Oh, dude, you got to get a Fitbit." I'm like, I hope I use it.
That's funny.
Cool. Is Antone still there?
Antone
no, the club Antone's.
Oh, no. You know, it got moved. I was like, I don't know the person, Antone. It got moved. We are, Austin's in this.
I know, it's in the next phase.
It's in the next phase. Antone's got moved. So in my location, in my world, it got killed off, right? Because Antone's is also not only just the name, but it's like the location and how cool it was and all that. So yeah, it got moved. Now there's a big, huge tower there. They're still building the tower.
So the last time I was in Austin, I went to Antone's or whatever, however you want.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
I got to get. I'm one of those musician guys, so I had to go.
Oh, well then you love Austin.
Yeah. So I went backstage and I met with Stevie Ray Vaughan's old band.
Oh, wow.
Chris Whipper-Layton, the drummer, Tommy Shannon, the bass player, and Reese, the keyboard player, and hung out with them and kind of met the owner. And it was really an interesting experience, and I was just curious if it's still there. So that was all my Austin questions.
Oh, okay. Well, Austin's great, but I have this, there's this T-shirt that says, I heard Dallas is great. Please go there. Please don't come to Austin. I kind of have that shirt going on. Please don't come here. Stop.
Yeah, go to Portland.
Yeah, go to Portland, go to Dallas, Houston, Waco. I heard Waco's nice. I mean,
okay, I could ask you a lot more questions, but I want to ask you one final question. What makes a successful person like yourself? You've got a lot of energy. You've got a lot of stuff going on. You've turned it around. What do you think is the catalyst for your success?
That's a great question. Wow, let me think about it. Well, drive. I think it's an internal drive to be better than who I think I am. You know what I mean? It's constantly drive. The other thing that helps me is a coach. You know, I think left to my own devices and staying in my own head, it would be a very dangerous place for me to be. So for me, having a coach outside myself helps me kind of what I call hone that drive to something better, because I'm a type A personality. You know what I mean? I know, right? Can you imagine? I'm a type A. And so when I take things on, and then I'm a performer too. They call it performance. A lot of performers are performers. Let's take somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, right? Elton John. I mean, if you see how he is personally, he's a performer, and then he'll go what I call into a hole. Sting does this. They perform and they go into a hole. That's a lot of entrepreneurs. They want to perform and then they kind of want to go behind the scenes because they're a performer. That's usually a type A personality. So I'm the same way. So I think having a coach in my life, keeping me on track, helps me really. That's what kind of pulled me out of my bankruptcy and all that, because I was definitely going down the I'm just going to become cab driver. At this point, forget it. Forget life. I'm done.
I don't see you as a cab driver.
I'll become a waitress. I tried to become a waitress. I really suck at waitressing, though. Really suck, because I'm the person that comes to your table and is like, okay, y'all, you got everything? You good? Okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving now. I'm not coming back. And I'll come back. And they're like, oh, I forgot I want the ketchup. And I'm like, no, you already said you were good. You know what I mean? I'm like that person. So I got fired.
So... Heather, where do we find you? Where is your next? Or what are the things that you want to tell the audience that's listening right now?
Sure, thank you for that. So they can text the word "sexy" SEXY to 72,000, and they can opt in, and they get 3 free chapters of my audiobook, Sexy Boss, that interests you. Or you can go to heatherhavenwood.com, and you can click on Work with Heather, and we can get on the phone and have a conversation if you're interested in working with me, if that suits you. Or if you're just like, what's this dating business thing? Just throw it out there at datingtriggers.com and justdateyoungerwomen.com if that kind of interests you as well.
Awesome. Heather, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I can hardly keep up with it. Let's try and circle back maybe as we go through our year at some point to connect and see how we'll have another discussion. I want to go deeper at some point into the email strategy, but it's been awesome talking to you, and we'll catch you soon, maybe one day in Austin. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm here. Yeah, come. I live downtown. Love to show you around. I mean, the bars of the awesome bars of the amazing music are slowly being demolished. So come early, come now, come, because there's so awesome here, the music scene here, but it's starting to become less of that just because of the big money coming in.
Awesome.
Yeah, come on down.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you're prepared to grow your business even further, then join CustomerBloom's Adventure Mastermind in Paradise, or CAMP, for digital agencies and online marketers from May 2nd to May 4th, 2016 at the gorgeous Villa Amor in Sayulita, Mexico. The benefits are limitless as you gain unparalleled insight through mastermind workshops, new perspective through community connections, and insider knowledge from the real-world experience of speakers and other attendees. Log on to CustomerBloom.com now and click the camp link to get started on a life-changing journey guaranteed to accelerate your business and your mind. We've reached the end of this episode of CustomerBloom's Growing Business Faster podcast. So be sure to subscribe to the show and stay connected to us on CustomerBloom.com. We appreciate you joining us and look forward to providing you with realistic ways to help support and accelerate your business here on the Growing Business Faster podcast, brought to you by CustomerBloom.